if you're running cold email campaigns at the moment and struggling with low reply rates and getting replies like not interested in your service, F off, and all that stuff you've probably been experiencing running cold email, then this video is for you. This video will go how to fix your low reply rates and get some positive replies in your inbox so you can book some meetings with some potential prospects. So, in the first step, we want to go over the domains and email accounts that you'll be using. We started using Gmail accounts at the beginning, but found that it's much more complicated to use Gmail, and we switched over to using Meldoso, which is easy to use, easy to implement, and we just found out that they provide the best deliverability of our emails. And then we don't have to struggle with setting up all the backend stuff that is done for us using Meldoso. So if you're running Gmail accounts and Outlook accounts, I will highly recommend that you're switching over to Meldoso, or make sure that everything back end on your Gmail and Outlook accounts is taken care of so you don't struggle with low deliverability of your emails and not landing in your client's inbox, and instead you are landing in their spam. So after you've done that, make sure that your email account is set up correctly and everything back end is tip top. Then we're going into identifying your clients. So that will be market research. You really want to deep dive into your own market or your client's market, depending on which one you're struggling with. And then really find out exactly what the pain point is in the market that you're trying to reach, and who you're trying to reach is really, really important. So if you are reaching out to big companies with, let's say, 25 to 100 employees, and you are targeting the CEO, the likelihood of you targeting the wrong person is very high. You probably want to target a lower person in the company. So that could be a CMO or something like that. That is really important as well. So you make sure that you're hitting the right prospect and in the right job title, if you can say that. Then you go into lead sourcing when you've done your market research. So if it's a broad industry, go with lead sort like Apollo, it could be Crunchbase, Store Leads. But if you are having a really niche down and you're really targeting a niche prospect that are offering some kind of very specific product, it could be tech, IT, something like that, and they only offer it to a specific niche, as I already said like 3 times, then you are going to use another lead source than a big broad one that everyone else is using, that is like a really, really big database. So you'll probably be better off using something like LinkedIn, for example, to find your lead source and really nail down the leads, because you can have the best copy in the world, the best backend setup, and everything else is in place. But if you're struggling with your leads and the lead source, then your email is not going to be good and you're not going to get the reply rates that you really want. So, really make sure that you got the right lead source and the right leads in your lead list, and identifying that they're really struggling with what you're offering to the market. So, example, if you're running emails for a company that sells books, go onto LinkedIn, search on books, find a person that has a lead magnet with books in it, maybe a book list, something like that. So they could say, these 10 books got me to $1 million a month. And you can see there is 500 people commented, send me the list. Then you can scrape those leads using something like Phantom Buster and get the URLs of the profiles, and then you can use Clay to enrich that data so you can get the email addresses of those persons. And then you can say an opener in the email, something like, hey, I saw you were interested in books, and then run down the offer for the client, but make sure that it's the right people that you're reaching out to that are really interested, in your services, and not just reach out to, that could be, yeah, a bigger niche, and they're not really interested in your service. That will drastically increase your reply rates because you're reaching the right people. And then, of course, when you have found the leads, you need to verify them, because if you don't verify them, you likelihood of ending up in spam is really high, and you will not deliver it to the right kind of people. Maybe a lot of people will be not working at the company anymore, or the email address is not functioning. So we use Million Verifier or Rion Verifier to go through the first phase of verification, and then you can use something called Scrappy. io to verify the risky emails so you get more emails to send to. But that is so key, coming down to verification of the leads. And if you're using Apollo, you have the possibility to use the email verification, but I wouldn't suggest you do that. So just buy the leads without using the verifications out of Apollo if you're using that as the lead source, and then just go into Million Verifier and Via Verifier, and then verify the leads there instead of using their platform. And then when it comes to copy, you really want to stand out, and you want to do some pattern interrupt, because the prospects is probably receiving a lot of cold emails. So saying something like, I was on your website, I was impressed with what you're doing, this impressed me, I hope this email found you well, and all that stuff that I've heard like a million times, you will probably just be another delete, and then you will not get response. So you need to find out what angle to use and really interrupt the patterns of the prospect's inbox. So that could be through video, a really good personal line that you have done through Clay, and really prompt the agent, knowing that the prospect is really struggling with something, then use that instead of using everything else that everyone else is using. So really find a way to stand out in your market and really use pattern interrupts. Also in the follow-ups, like it could be something like just typing on the keyboard, make a meme of a dog or a cat walking on the keyboard and say something like, hey, my cat just walked on the keyboard, did you see my previous email, or did you see the video that I sent you? If it's a video campaign that you're doing, that works incredibly well, and you also have some humor. And just remember that you're reaching out to people, so you don't need to make it like robotic, and really try to come up with something very specific and very different. But just be stand out. That's really important as well. And a video is very good in terms of open rates and booking meetings. And I use Sendler as my video tool, so you can go ahead and use that as well. But it's a recommendation from my side in terms of the video if you want to do that with your campaigns. And then you just need to test and embrace the art of trial and error. You really need to test, test, and test and test until you find out what works and what doesn't work in your specific niche. So when you've done that and tried everything you can, you will eventually find the winning angle, and then you just not flow, but there will be a lot of meetings in your calendar, and you will get a lot of positive replies from your cold email campaigns. And then, of course, you need to make sure to follow up with the prospects. So if you get a positive reply, say you do a video campaign, you ask for permission to send out the video, and they watch the video but don't reply back. Then you need, of course, to follow up with the prospects. I recommend you do it two to yeah 2 times a week is probably the best, but not every day, so you get annoyed and just they end up deleting your your emails. And then use pattern interrupts again into the follow-ups. As I just mentioned, it could be the keyboard one, it could be something different. Just try to put some memes in your follow-ups. It works incredibly well. And I really hope that you will utilize that, because it was a game changer in our company. But eventually, this, if you nail this down, then you will get a higher reply rate, and not just getting not interested as replies, but you will get prospects that are interested in your service and want to book meetings with you and buy your services eventually. So I hope this helps. Other than that, if you have anything that you would like to ask, or have any questions about the video here or anything else, then let me know down in the comments. And otherwise, have a great day.